So I'm gonna hope and pray that wasn't a complete disaster. Okay. So I've kept every single card I've ever gotten. Sometimes I like the message that they write, and I find that you could be having a really bad day and open one of these cards and just read, and it can completely change, how you're feeling. I keep these cards mainly because I'm grateful. Always say to people that if it's like a birthday or some celebration or whatever, I'd rather a card than like a expensive gift, because the card basically encapsulates that time. Like this one, I got this one when I was 13 years old. This is when I decided to start this little trend. And, it's nice to look back and just read the messages that were written in them. So like I said, I've been keeping these cards since I was very, very young. And instead of like having them off to the side in a closet somewhere, I wanted to find a creative way to display them, right? Like I said, the messages in here, like they always touch my heart when I go back and read. So while I basically arrange these cards in a way that looks aesthetically pleasing for my frame, I just wanted to touch the topic of gratitude. So gratitude, to me, I think is a very important thing, because I always say to myself, it could always be worse. You should be grateful for the things you have, the people around you, and just for life. And the theme of gratitude surrounds these cards for me as well, because when I read these messages, man, I don't know. It just makes me more grateful for what I have. I have cards in here from times when things were very difficult for me, and it's nice to like read the messages from that time and just, reminisce of where I've been and where I am now. So I have this card here, and this was when I moved from New York to Massachusetts, and I was having a difficult time. I was laid off from work, and I was trying to figure out like my next steps in life, and I was down bad. Like a lot of people didn't know that I was down bad, but I have this woman in my life. She's like a mother to my siblings and I. And at the time when she gave me this card, she had no idea that I was down bad, and she put $50 in this card. And I don't know, I'm not like the emotional type, but when I got this $50 at that time, it was so significant to me, because I felt as though I was on an island by myself trying to figure this all out. And I guess she just felt it. I don't know. But I told myself I wasn't going to spend this $50. Even though I needed this $50, I told myself I was never going to spend it. So it's been sitting in this card for like 3 years now. And I like when I look back and look at this card and I'm just like, yeah, I remember that time. I remember that time when things seemed impossible. But look at us now, I tell her about this all the time. She didn't know, but I tell her about this card all the time. This one now, I got a new job. This is why I moved to Massachusetts, and my friends came together and did like a surprise going away party for me that I had no idea. And we all signed the card. Like, it's beautiful messages in here. Just everybody was just happy for me. And at the time I was super grateful. And not just at the time. Right now I'm still looking at it now. I'm like very grateful for this the support, like, and that's how many people showed up. It was refreshing, I should say. It was like a breath of fresh air. And then everybody, this giant card is the largest one in my collection. This next one I wanted to talk about. So I have this little cousin. His name is Kyrie, and he made this card for me from scratch with hand. I don't know. It says, "Happy birthday, Kimane. I love you. You are the best, big bro, from Kyrie." And then he drew a little picture of the two of us. I don't remember when. It's been a couple years when he did this, but like stuff like this. Like, this is just like, Kyrie's like older now too. So, a couple years, I definitely show him this. Remind him of this handwritten, handmade card that he made me. Oh, I think this is dope. So enough of the talking. Let's actually lay this thing out. So yeah, let's get into it. So I was thinking to have this 13 one be like the center, because it kind of started here. So I got two-sided tape that I'm gonna stick to the back of the card, and then I'm gonna place it. So it should stay. Nope. Boom. Okay. took the time to place them in the ideal order that I liked. I wanted to kind of get a feel of how it would look before I finally taped it down. Once I was happy with the placement, I used my double-sided tape to stick them to the back of a sheet of paper. I only used a small piece though, since I don't really want it to be impossible to remove if I do decide later I want to change this out. So this is how I've decided to lay it out. This is how I'm going to display it. A little bit of cards and then some of the messages that are inspirational. Yeah. So now I'm going to try to flip it over. I got to be very careful. It's still not like 100% like stable. But once I put the cardboard on the back of it, it should keep it smushed together enough to keep it from sliding. So now let's flip it over. So I'm going to try to be extra careful. So I'm gonna just 1, 2, 3. So I'm gonna hope and pray that that wasn't a complete disaster. So now I'm gonna just flip over 2 tabs, just so once I turn it over, I can just see it just before I flip everything over, because I want to see what it looks like. So just do those 4. Now for the moment of truth, okay? Whoa, that's nice. That's actually really nice. Not holy shit, but holy shit. It's really nice. Okay, so we got, we got some cards, we got some like messages. So, nah, this is nice. I did that, definitely. Okay, so now I'm gonna flip it back over and I'm gonna completely secure everything, because I'm actually satisfied with how this looks. So now I have to find somewhere to display this in the house, preferably somewhere that I can see it often, right? So probably somewhere in the living room with the rest of my art. So I appreciate you guys being here, me doing this. This is my form of showing gratitude to the people that are in my life, but you can show gratitude in many different ways. I want to display this because I'm grateful for the time they took to write these messages. That's why I hold them so valuable to me. So be grateful for the people that's in your life. Be grateful for life, like I said, and just, it could always be worse, right? I want to leave you with this. One thing that I always do is whenever a friend or family member comes to mind, I always send a message to them, because it's not guaranteed that that person will be in your life forever. So send them the message, let them know that you're grateful to have them. That's one way that I show gratitude to my friends and family. As I'm sitting here thinking about this, I challenge you to send a message to one person that you're absolutely grateful for. It doesn't have to be anything spectacular. Just say, hey, I'm glad to have you in my life. And I promise you that would definitely put a smile on their face and add a little bit of sunshine back to their life. I'm really happy how this turned out. So now I have to find somewhere to display this in the house, preferably somewhere that I can see it often, right? So probably somewhere in the living room with the rest of my art. Like, share, and subscribe. And I would love to see how you show gratitude in your life. Feel free to leave that in the comments. I look forward to hearing how you show gratitude.